Alright, so really quick guys, in this video I'm going to be showing you guys one of the ways to connect very well with the keyboard player. Now this is one thing that a lot of bass players actually struggle with to play, right? In the last video I already talked about the triads. Now let's get into how you can actually use the triad in real time. Now there are so many things you can do with the triad. You can create bass lines, you can create feel, you can do a lot of things. But then in music, when it comes to harmony, when it comes to melody, there is always one language that the whole instrument sing, which is harmony and melody, literally. Now this is where you as a bass player or as a lead guitar player or as any instrument you're playing, as long as you have to do with tonic surfer, you need to really understand the triads very well. Now I'm going to show you guys how to connect very well with the keyboard using the triad. Now let's get into it. I'm going to be using a backing track. I'm going to try as much as possible to put the link to that backing track in the description box. Now let's look into what I have here. We have a very simple progression which you guys will be familiar with because I've used this backing track for more than once in this video. Now as a bass player, you need to always know the notes in the triads. Is very important for you to be able to play very well with the keyboard player. You need to know the notes in the triad. So even when you're trying to create like a chord substitution, or you're trying to create a feel, or you're trying to create a lick, or you're trying to create a bass line, you know the notes in the triad. That way it's easier for you to actually play. Now if you've listened to some songs from back in the days, like I'm going to use the one that is very common that I can literally just show you guys. Okay, you will notice that there are some bass lines or rhythm that the guitar is playing or the keyboard is playing. You just notice that it's literally the triads. Let's say for example, do you know this song? This is basically a high life groove, right? Now this is the lead line. Then you hear the bass playing something like. Now what the bass and the lead guitar are literally doing here, they are just playing around with the chords, right? While the keyboard is just playing the full chord. Like well, the keyboard is playing do do so re so re, right? Or this, let's say this is the keyboard playing do so, right? Which are just the chord, right? And then the keyboard is the bass is playing, and then the lead guitarist is playing. Now what did you notice here is literally how they are all using the notes in the chord progression, right? They are all playing around, making creative ideas from the notes in the chord, right? So when you understand the triad, you're not going to play outside what is expected, because whatever you're doing, you are playing the notes inside the chord. So what am I trying to say is, when you're playing the notes inside the chord or inside the triads, it's hard for it to be out of the music. So it's easier whenever we are also playing in church, playing simple worship songs. You notice how maybe the song is going to 5, and then as the bass player you might decide to play a feel that ended in maybe like your 7. Why is it possible to play something like this and it still goes well? It's because the notes in the chord you're supposed to go to, or the progression, which is the G major 7 or the G major chord, right? Right, the notes in this chord contain the note you just played. That's why you cannot sound off. So when you understand the notes in the triad, whenever you're creating fills, you're creating licks and stuff, you know what not to play out of or what not to joke with. This is one of the tricks that a lot of pro bass players are using, and you will never know, because you will just keep wondering, is it the same thing I'm playing that this person is playing, because it's sounding entirely different. So let me play along with the track, and I'm going to just show you guys how I'm going to be playing some notes, and you'll see how those notes I'm playing are going to be complementing the chord. Okay, that's why it's very easy where you hear the keyboard player playing stuff like rootless chord, and it's easy for you to just stay in that same groove. Okay, let's get into it. Can you see that? 5. Now 1. In this track, you notice we have 1 2 times. 1. I'm going to show you how I can decide to substitute okay, let's not make it complicated, but I can decide to substitute one of the C major 7th, right? Since I have C major 7th in 2 bars, I can decide to substitute it for my A minor. Why is it like that? Because I already mentioned in that video that the A minor is the relative minor of the C major. That's why it's easy. So I actually encourage you guys that you try to understand the relationship between notes and notes. Okay, that way it is easier for you to actually create stuffs and connect stuff and play stuffs that are going to really sound nice, and you're not going to sound out of the box. Sometimes I can still play some stuff and I just try to understand how does this relate to what I'm playing. So for example, so ti re re fa la. Can you notice what I just did here? I leveraged on the last note I played, so ti re, to start up the D minor triad. Re fa la, la do mi so ti. Then I go ti re fa. I can say now, what are the notes in this F major triad? Okay, instead of starting from my fa la do, I can do do la fa. Now if you remember, or if you look at this closely, you will notice that the notes in the D minor triad are re fa la. Since I'm on do la fa, I'm just going to play re. Do you see that? Now I'm going to do ti so. This is what I'm doing. Now I'm connecting them in triad. If I do re ti so ti re, very simple. Okay, so you guys are going to say I'm not playing much in this video. Well, I like how this video is going. This is not even how I planned this video, but how it's going, I'm just opening your eyes to some stuff that you can use and get creative. Okay, so let me play along with the track and show you. Do you see what I just did now? Now we are on 1, but I played 3. What am I trying to open your eyes to is the fact that you can actually play, instead of playing 1, let me play a note that are in the chord, right? Which is do mi so ti, right? I'm playing a note in that chord, which is now mi. Do you see that? So let's go again. So let's go. Now I'm playing 7. This is what I'm doing. Do you see that? Now, do you see what I just did here? I did not really do much to just fill in this gap. Literally just played the one of the notes from the C major triad, right? Instead of playing the, you see that? Do from the re mi la re mi. You see that? Very simple. Do you see that? So you can literally create feels from just trying to leverage on the notes in that triad to create something very beautiful. Do you see that? Very simple. Now you can literally do this in other triads. Now why am I doing this video? To actually open your eyes to the need to actually understand and memorize all the notes in each of these triads to see how they can actually connect. I strongly encourage that you take out your time to look at all these notes and check out how they can connect from each other. Okay, if I have F major triad, okay, sometimes I also do this during my practice. How can you connect your major triads to your minor triads? Because if you check very well, if you look at all the notes in the triad, you see that the notes in your C major, there are still some notes you will find them in your E minor. Let's say for example, do mi so mi. This is that. Do mi so and then mi so ti. The only difference between these two triads is the ti and do, but mi and so is the same thing. So if I have ti so mi do, literally I'm doing ti so mi do C major 7th, right? So you can always find a way to understand the relationship between each of these notes and how they connect. It helps you to be much more creative. Okay, very, very simple. So if you found any form of value, please do have to leave a like and leave a comment in the comment section. I'm going to see you guys in the next one. Peace.